Behind me is a car that the internet loves, and for the longest time, I could not see why. This is a 2018 Mazda Miata RF. Its base price is $39,000 and fully loaded as this one is, it's $48,000. It only has 155 horsepower. It's really small inside, and for the longest time, I just said why. The roof mechanism itself is really a cool piece of work. It retracts into the bodywork and doesn't take up any trunk space. You can load up the trunk and retract the top, and it doesn't matter. They don't interfere with each other. It's a very, very smart design. Mazda says the additional folding gear for the folding hardtop only adds 80 pounds over the standard cloth top Miata. But is it worth $48,000? Let's retract that fancy top and find out. Let's see what all the hype's about, shall we? So, getting underway, the first thing you notice is that the shifter is awesome. It's the best shifter. Also, there's no rev hang. The shifting on this car is fantastic. Lots of clutch feel, easy to heel and toe if you know how to heel and toe, like I don't. So predictably, the power is not all that impressive, but it is enough to have a lot of fun with. It's so much fun! When you're just putting around town, you don't get the full effect. You really have to take it out into some turns and see what this car is all about. This car is not going to impress anyone light to light. But out here on some twisty roads, this is where this car excels. Part of the magic is that this thing slides around when you're not going that fast. It's because it has 205 width tires. They're not actually that grippy, they're just regular car tires. But when you ask the 2-liter to get up and go, it scoots. Honestly, this car is so much more than the spec sheet, and everyone says that in the slow car fast. Yeah. This thing is so much fun. I will dock it a little bit for the electric power steering. It doesn't quite have the same amount of feel as we've expected from Miatas in the past. However, it's still among the best out there for 2018. It actually has a lot of body roll. You would expect a sports car like this to be very, very stiffly sprung. However, it's got a lot of lean and it's actually quite comfortable. Now, while the car drives fantastic, I have to say the engine is okay at best. It's a 2-liter, it makes 150 horsepower, 155, I'm sorry, and it gets great mileage. However, it doesn't really like to rev. It only revs to 6,500 RPM, which is pretty low for sports car standards. And it doesn't sound amazing even when you rev it out. I was looking for a little bit more soul in the engine department and honestly a little bit more volume. I realize not every car has to be, super race car loud. However, this is such a fun car and the engine's so quiet I can barely hear it sometimes. I would like a little bit more volume from the exhaust. But I'm a child. So it's very fun, it drives great. Let's wrap it up and see if it's really worth $48,000. This RF has the GT package, which comes with a whole bunch of really cool stuff, including Bilstein shock absorbers, BBS wheels, and Brembo front brakes. The interior is beautifully trimmed in this leather, it's well appointed, and it looks like a premium package, and it better be for what it costs. However, it's very, very small. Space is at a premium in a car this size. So is it worth $48,000? I don't think so. It's definitely worth $40,000, and you also have to consider how much more money you would have to spend to find a better handling car. In my humble opinion, I think you'd have to go all the way up to something like a Porsche 718 to get something in the same league. Sure, you can find lots of faster cars. A 370Z will whip this thing around a racetrack. However, I don't think you'll find many that are much more fun. For Driving.ca, I'm Clayton Seams.